sacrifices that we've made started with me. So back in 1993, for example, when I needed a new car, I bought a Honda Civic hatchback. We just sold it this year, 19 years later. And so I drove that car for 10 years, and I thought that it was just a prudent thing to do for a guy that's trying to give his life away. What I didn't realize was every time they got in the back of that car, they realized that this is not about our dad. That we as a family have been absolutely ambushed by God's goodness. And this is about us turning around and using our life and our talent and our skills and resources to meet the deepest needs of others. I didn't even see that happening, but along the way I've watched it mold and shape their hearts and their lives. And Jenny yesterday got on a plane to leave the largest slum in Africa, where she's been serving little boys and girls who've never heard about Jesus, who have no mom and dad and have AIDS. And I've watched her heart just explode through these years. She came with me to China, for example. She sat with me at the top of a bank building. She sat beside the president of Boeing Asia, the president of BP Asia, the president of Cummins Engines in Asia, their senior pastor, and 2 other entrepreneurs. And as we had dinner, I listened to the president of Boeing look Jenny in the eye and say, "Jenny, God's going to use you. He can use you. He's using me. I'm a little boy that grew up in a village in China, and he put me in this place as the CEO of Boeing so that I can make an impact for Jesus in China, and he's going to use you." And today, all these years later, she's living that out. And so she's on her way home after the last 7 months serving in a place where I wondered, would I ever see her again? If you really are clear on what you want for your kids, it's bigger than comfort, and it's bigger than an outstanding education. It probably includes some of those. But the biggest gift I can give my kids is take them someplace where their heart breaks for what breaks God's heart. Teach them by modeling for them how to give their life away. If I could only have one legacy, I want it to be my kids. But I don't want my kids to say 25 years from now that my dad made a bunch of money and then he came home and created the perfect family. I don't want them to say that. What I want them to say 25 years from now is, for some unknown reason, God chose to bless my dad's business, and then we watched him give himself away the rest of his life. First to our mom, then to us, but then he challenged us as a family to give our lives away, because this is not about us as a family. My daughter Carrie is in France, sharing the gospel through Campus Crusade with kids that think God is irrelevant. We got an email on Thursday from her that the first little college kid came to know the Lord after a year and a half of serving in very hard soil, and we celebrated together. Now, they do have a good college education, but you know, the interesting thing is we asked them to pay half of it themselves. In 8th grade, I'd sit down with them in the summer, and I'd map out for them what the cost of college is. And I'd help them create a plan to save enough money in their 8th, 9th, 10th, 12th grade, and then between years in college, so that they could pay half of their college. And each of them has done that. And they've learned some things along the way, how to manage money, how to create a cash flow statement, the value of money. And every one of them have come to me independently afterwards and said, thank you. I saw so many of my friends, my friends in college who didn't value money, who didn't even value their education because they didn't have some skin in the game. And I'm not saying that's for everybody, but for our family, that was a home run. I still have the money that I didn't spend on their college, and I'm investing it now in their ministry and their careers and their business. My son's launched a business in environmental engineering, and I can get behind them with it. But my point to you is this. When the Bible says, whoever holds his life will lose it, whoever loosely holds his life loosely or gives it away will gain it. It's the same with our kids. If I want to create the perfect family, I will potentially inadvertently model for them that it's all about them. But if I take them on a faith adventure with me, I'll create a lasting legacy and forever change their hearts.
Lloyd, well put. Let's just give him a hand.
Thanks, you guys.
So, Lloyd, thank you so much for sharing.
You're welcome.
I know personally, this just reminds me of some of the times I've had the opportunity to kind of sit at your feet, so to speak, going through the halftime experience, and I'm glad everybody else has had an opportunity to get a glimpse. And so we're just going to encourage you all to read the book. We're going to be reading that throughout the year next year. It really doesn't take that long, so you could probably go to night and read it, but it's more important that you apply the principles. Were you about to say something? Did I?
No, I'm just listening. And
Okay. So once again, let's just show Lloyd our appreciation.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Thanks, Brian. Thanks, Pastor Ireland, for what you're doing and leading your team to this kind of vision to give themselves away. And Brian, can I just hang up now, or is that?
Yep, that's it. Thanks so much, and I'll be in touch.
You bet. Appreciate it. Bye now.
Thank